and we're gonna have to roll out some foam to make it work instead of using those pre-done things. So the first thing she does is tape down. You don't have
Stand
to.
in front of the camera.
No, you can. That camera will catch it. So the outer one is the shorter one?
Yep. Very sticky. Strangely.
What's that?
It's sticky.
Yeah, I think it's a static charge that holds it together.
All right, so these come in 36 inches wide, and this painting is 30 inches wide or tall. So it has to be trimmed 2 different ways. And the easiest way to do this is to lay the painting face down on top and draw around it. Okay, here we go, baby.
So she's going to, well, I guess I'll do it. Just put a line where the edge of the painting is on the side. We're using the crayons that I used to draw with because a magic marker would work well like a Sharpie too. But I think these are better because if it hits the painting, it's not going to mar it. Like it has paper around it. Anyway. You ready?
Big strong guy, you want to lift the painting so I can trim this without cutting the canvas. All right. And just a reminder, try not to let the foam hit the ground because it'll pick up any dust you got going on. And again, you don't have to cut all the way through. If you don't have a steady hand and you don't trust yourself, you can use a long ruler and run this along the ruler.
We have one of those drywall T-squares somewhere that we use sometimes when I use it to grid big paintings too. Perfect.
Oh, yes.
This foam rubber is kind of expensive, so you want to save as much of it as you can. And as she pointed out, you want to keep it from hitting the ground everywhere because it gets really dirty.
And you will use these scraps later in other boxes.
If you build it.
So it's not.
Is it worth it to put another piece of foam on the back so that it fits better? Or
so we can see if so. One of the things we have to judge is this has notches already built into the boxes, but the height of this with the foam doesn't match. So we can use the back of a knife to etch another line in. It's time consuming. So one thought we have is if we add another piece of foam on the back, then does it match up exactly to?
Oh, it does.
It's pretty close.
So we might just. Is it worth it? I think it's worth it.
Yeah. If you think it's off too much, look, it's like a quarter of an inch.
That's a centimeter. Well, yeah, we should etch it.
So anyhow, it's not. We're off either way.
Do you know where that big T-square thing is? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So anyhow, I'm gonna go get
A butter knife.
a knife that we use.
Sometimes I use a screwdriver, like the back of the screwdriver. It just has to be blunt.
Do you want to do that?
Do we have one down here? All right. Let me get where Sharpie is. And I'm gonna have to do this on all of the edges so that I know where to score it. And this is why, like a lot of times, it's good to have two people working on this stuff.
Especially on the big ones, they're a little awkward, unwieldy, whatever word you want to use. It's not impossible, especially if you have good hand strength and
But that's why we have the clamps too. Because the clamp is. This thing is a drywall T-square. And I don't know how much they are. I found this one years ago in the basement of someone, an apartment that we were in. But it is because you can line it up on the edge of the box. It's square. And so even if this line is off slightly, it doesn't matter because what I'm going to do is I'm just dragging this along. And it scores it, but it's not cutting all the way through. And that's really important to not cut all the way through. So it's really, don't use the sharp end of a knife. You want something that's dull. And what you can do then is you can fold it along that line and see how that it's so close to the other crease that it's gonna create issues when we fold the box, but that's okay. I mean, it's just a box. It doesn't have to be perfect. It has to protect it really well. And so once I fold one side, see how it's already kind of creased up along that magic marker line? And we'll do all of the sides the same way. So what I do a lot of times to get it to fold the right way, and I could have done it on this side too. So if you have a hard metal ruler like this, even a stick will do, then you can hold it down. Sometimes I'll even use a clamp on either side, but see how it folds it nice and clean on either side along that crease that I've already made? So then it sort of ignores the other crease that will confuse the edge a little. See how there's two creases, one here and one here. And so the magic marker one is going to be flatter against it. If I use this edge thingy. But it's kind of hard to do. Sometimes, so when I'm working alone, sometimes I'll even put it down and grab a clamp. If I use the big one, it's even easier. So you grab a clamp, line it up on it, then clamp it to the table. Probably better if I do it on one side, on the shorter side, like this. And then come around that side so you can see. And I'm just holding it down with my finger. And because it's a hard edge, it's just folding it along there and not letting the other crease go.
all right, so let's line this baby up on the
Right.
front and in the box.
Right.
That's pretty good.
And we can do the clamp thing.
Mm-hmm.
You want to hang it over your edge first, and then
Oh, yes.
yeah,
Do you want it to be in more?
I think it's good. Yeah,
Okay.
clap. Yeah, you have to have some, just drop them off. It's gonna be nice, these clamps. Let me get it. And these are the biggest ones. And it makes the edges still bubble and do weird shit, stuff. And so you'll have to push it in and get it, working. And what I'll do a lot of the time, especially if I'm alone, is I'll have to use a clamp because I don't have enough with fingers. Can you hand me another one and I'll put that on and then.
Yeah, why don't you do your technique, Bob?
The only problem with this stuff that I'm showing you is it makes corners bulge. And so you're gonna have to fix it by taping them in. Look. Is there another clamp floating around? All right, let me show them.
Oh, here.
If you only have
Here.
two, because you know, but
All right.
so a lot of times what I'll do is thank you, is I'll fold the seams up like this, and then it makes it free to do the corners so that you can get it right. And like these corners are bulging a little, so I'm gonna have to pull it a little tighter so that in all honesty, I don't know if it really matters that much how tight the corners are, but if you get them as tight as possible, I think the painting won't shift around as much. So now we'll just tape it all together. Show you on this side. And I do the middle because then it'll be easier for me to squash it. And the way to do it is you grab just a piece of tape that's the right length or size, and you have to pull it off the edge of the table, which I think oh yeah, it's showing up. And what I'll do is I'll get it close to the center. See how it's off of the center, but it's still bowing out, and then wrap it around. And so because it's like vertical on this side instead of going a little lengthwise, it'll give me a lot more flexibility when I'm taping in the corners. And some people like to put extra corners on these things, but between the foam rubber and how thick these cardboard is, unless someone's out to damage it, it's not gonna hurt it too much. So the next thing I usually do is I do the four corners and I try to push them all in so that they're as square as possible. And I'll put layers of tape all over the corners. Once you take the clamps off, it becomes a little bit more flexible. And I even take it off the table after I get it sort of partially assembled with the tape so that I can pull the tape tighter and pack the box down. So you can see the corner is kind of wonked out, but we're gonna cover that with a lot of tape. And some of the corners are tighter than others. Here's another one. And you're just gonna have to accept that you need just put a lot of tape on the edges of the boxes. Sometimes standing it up is the way to go.